Sizwe Dhlomo, of which, we always enjoy it when you guys are at each other's throats because we love mobs and cancel culture. Part of the videos that have trended on my channel were the ones where I was like, the fascination for me is, it seems, Vusi Thembekwayo is first generation.
Yes.
First generation wealth is building his, and Sizwe Dhlomo is maybe second, third, and he's a beneficiary of his father, grandfather, whatever. And I'm like, it's interesting, this clash of, it seems like Sizwe is an issue of first generation, and first generation is never pretty. And people that understand what it takes to build,
they'll tell you
scam artists, 100%. And you stole my money, and
100%, 100%.
And on the other side, Vusi is saying, yeah, but Sizwe, it's not like you didn't have some privileges. And I'm seeing first generation almost arguing and fighting with, Vusi would love to be his children to be Sizwe. One day. And Sizwe is kind of fighting with his grandfather, but people are saying you stole money and it's like, no, this is kind of how it works, but we just happen to be similar ages. And your thoughts around, I know at some point we'd like to see you guys sit down, chat, find common ground.
Yeah, that's not gonna fucking happen. Fuck him.
No, not on camera.
No. I mean, anybody who...
Okay, anyways.
Let me say it this way, right?
Sure.
I moved past that point when he made it personal and came after my kids.
Okay, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
And kids and family and partners
no. When he did that, no. We are no longer at a amajita xabene izodlula.
Sure.
No, indaba amadoda le.
Okay.
Sadlula lapho kudala.
Okay.
Ngeshwa. He hasn't proven himself beyond what he's been given. And I know one thing about the world, boy. Cycles.
Yeah.
Lajika levile. Khululeka. It's summer now. Winter's coming. We'll see what you're made of. Do your thing.
Sure.
And angimfiseli ngikhuluma ngempilo. Impilo njalo.
Yeah.
All of us. Cycles.
Sure.
Give it time. So, let me say a few things there, right?
Outside of speaking about him, just the ideology.
I mean, I think, so, he's actually been an interesting little, blip in my life, because took me a while studying that.
Okay.
So I'm the guy who, I try to extract myself from a situation and go, why did this unfold the way it unfolded? A lot of people don't know, actually, the genesis.
Okay.
I want to tell you first the genesis,
okay,
and then I'll tell you kind of my reading of it.
Okay.
So years ago, you remember there was a taxi strike.
That was one of my popping videos, boy.
That was the whole thing. So most people, again, let's go back. Think of Vusi Thembekwayo just gets up and says, tough times don't last, but tough people do.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
Demi. I love Demi, by the way.
Sure.
He and I follow each other. We chat on Instagram. Sure. I love the guy. So people think that's what I do.
Yeah. There
are layers in public speaking, Chief. At the top is something we call the halo speaker, a business speaker, professional speaker, inspirational, motivational, right?
Okay. So
when you call us speakers, you're trying to club all of us into one.
Yeah.
But that's okay. It's not how you guys understand it. It's cool. In my game, right, to be effective at what I do, I have a full research team. That's why I can say things, because I've got people whose job it is to put together the things I need to say. Do you understand?
Sure.
Tomorrow I'm on assignment with a client. My research team is at the office now. Now today my research team is spread. I've got 2 people in Dubai, 2 in the Philippines, 1 here in Joburg and 1 in Cape Town. I've given them different research assignments. That's why if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see I run a thread on AI and how AI is changing. I'm not sitting there I've got a team doing this.
Sure.
So Ubafo.
Can you give the context of the taxi thing?
I'm going there.
I actually remember it was it's a valuable conversation outside of...
I'm going there.
Sure.
So Ubafo, as I understand it, tweeted something.
Sure.
Right. I get, this is before Google Docs, an email from my research team with a Word document going, hey, salient facts about this strike, post a video now. So I go and I check the salient facts. I go, cool, go online, post a video, and that's that.
Yeah.
So somebody on Twitter, goes to him and says, yo, did you see Vusi posted a video? And some of the facts are some of the facts you've posted as it appears on your thread.
Yeah.
Now, here's why it's important. Those facts were public knowledge. It's not like he went and found researchers who went and dug up something as primary evidence. It was secondary data. We were all pulling it from the same place. If you and I read the same financial report, we're going to get the same data.
Yeah.
Right? Leave it. That's the Friday the video gets posted. I get on a flight. I was flying somewhere. And the following morning, I remember I had to fly back. They fuel up the jet. I was flying private. I fly back.
Come on, Vusi, man.
Pumalap.
Come on, take it easy.
You know, I land, the jet lands, whatever.
Don't make us George Floyd, Baba. Knee off our necks.
And as I land, right, I see on my Twitter timeline, this guy's going off at me.
Sure. And you're trending.
Buff was like, yeah, no, he stole my facts. So I see this, and then I reply to him. I'm like, this is just patently not true.
Yeah.
Right. And then this is where the fight started. He then replies and says, it's not the first time you've done it.
Yeah.
So I go,
okay.
Where else have I done it?
Sure.
Now here's for me what the issue was then and is today. This is why in my mind, I've got no respect for the guy. Zero respect.
Sure.
And inhlonipho kumina has nothing to do ngemali nangeminyaka. Umuntu umhlonipha ukuthi uphatha abanye abantu kanjani.
Yes.
This past week, when the whole apartheid thing was happening,
yeah.
I was at the office. I work late. Sometimes I leave the office at 11 midnight. Oliver Dixon calls me from SAFM. Says to me, dude, I just saw your tweet. Do you have a sec? I said, for you, every day.
Sure.
He and I spent 30 minutes on the phone. I was late for the gym that evening because phoned me and said, I don't agree with you and here's why.
Sure.
Do you understand?
Sure.
Ubafo has my number. So I'm landing, I'm getting this tweet. I'm a bit confused here. It's not like we're estranged to one another.
Sure.
If Penn feels I said something that was his information, Penn has the permission to phone me and say, Jid, I just saw this. What's going on?
Sure.
So I then realized he had no interest in resolving anything.
Yeah.
He did then what has been his entire modus operandi. That's why he fought with AKA and Ricky Rick and Nasty C. Right? We're talking about a guy with respect, as far as I know, who's been on radio for over a decade. I don't know how many awards he's got being on radio. So maybe before you tell us about our business, you should just be number one at yours. Jeez, let's start there, right? So you're busy out here questioning people's credentials, but the only credential you stand on is right. Who are you flexing to? But I want to come to where this issue comes from. Because when we understand this issue as black people, we're unstoppable. So the call doesn't come in.
Sure.
Next thing I'm seeing him saying stuff, I lose my shit. My wife was pregnant, I'll never forget, with my youngest. I go into my car, record a video, and I address him.
Sure.
Because I get you don't want to, so I'll address you.
Sure.
That's not the way it's done, my guy. You've got my number. You pick up the phone and you phone.
Sure.
If it was an earnest feeling that he felt like I'd taken something of his, you pick up the phone and you say, hey man, when's that landla? But the point is this. In his character, and people don't need to understand this, that's why he's an entertainer.
Okay.
In his character is to create conflict. Go online and find any time I've ever started an issue with him about anything. When stuff was written about him in the papers, you'll never hear Vusi going, see,
sure.
I'm too busy. But things going on.
Sure.
Yet every time something's being said about me, he's in it.
He jumps on.
So now you got to ask yourself, who's obsessed with who here?
Sure.
Because it clearly ain't me being obsessed with him. I couldn't even tell you what's happening with the guy.
Sure.
I don't know what station he's on now. I don't know what show I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm watching that whole movie happen.
Yeah.
And then years later, I get to meet Anele. I was on Anele's show a few times.
Anele Mdoda.
That's right. Very sharp, by the way, Anele. Incredibly sharp. Incredibly sharp. People need to look beyond her ability as an entertainer. She's actually very smart. And she says to me backstage, she's like, no, Sizwe's my best friend. I said, oh, okay, cool. So now you must understand, we now have two portals of connection.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
If there was a conversation Guy wanted to have, he could have had it.
Sure.
He's not interested in the conversation. Sure. He is, and I said this in my very first tweet to him, and neither he nor his merry band of dum-dums understood the insult I threw at them. I said to him, he is busy entertaining the gallery of commons. When you're in theater, fall.
Yeah.
You perform to the gallery. The VIP sit at the top. At the bottom sit the commons. To this day, he's never replied to that insult because it didn't register. He was too busy being fixated with, let me flare up this light. I'm at the stage with him where I just don't feed him. The fact that he's constantly the one attacking me should tell you who's above who here. That's all you need to know.
I didn't want us to talk about this, man.
No, but
thank you.
I wanted to. You must understand something, right? Like, it's been close to a decade for me. I've just been watching this guy and I'm quiet.
I worry about creating platforms that add to.
I know, and I know. But for me, it's been a decade.
I hear you.
Of just watching umjida, you know, and sometimes elokishini sakhula thina. Wakunalento ukuthi ayisekakhulumile kwanele bafu.
Sure.
Ngathi kuzofanele umadress manje.
Sure.
Right? And I will take that opportunity to do that here because this is an actual platform where one can address it and it doesn't get emotional.
Sure.
There are people who've said, you know, it would be interesting to watch a debate. I would never debate the guy. It wouldn't be a debate.
It wouldn't also be necessary.
And it wouldn't be necessary.
Yeah.
This creating of this confluence and collision. Now, so that gives you the history. Now let's talk a bit about why that exists.
Sure.
Because, man, I meditated on that question. And I think he and I are a fault line of something that most black people are struggling with today.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what that is. I went to a township school called Egukanyeni. And when I was finishing Standard 3,
Jeez, we're old. Standard 3 is grade 5, children.
Yeah.
Don't get lost, keep up.
When I was finishing with Standard 3, Baba moved me to a Model C school called Benoni West. And I went to, and I was going to, when I was finishing with Standard 2, passing for Standard 3. So the next year I must go to Standard 3. My dad goes to the school and they're like, no, you must take an entrance exam.
Yeah.
You remember those entrance exams? So anyway, I passed every single part of the exam. English, math, everything. Except Afrikaans. There was this lady, Mrs. Olivier. She later actually became my Afrikaans teacher. She shows me images. She says, what's this in Afrikaans? She pointed at a kitchen.
Sure.
And I didn't know what a kitchen was in Afrikaans. I was like, a kitchen? I don't know. So she was like, no.
You gave it a good shot, boy.
Yeah, she was like, no, you can't go to grade 5, it was.
Jeez.
Now, we're not switching from standards to grades.
Sure.
Not only that, but we have to move you back to grade 3. I did like a standard 1. But it was fine because I was in Kanyani, I was 2 years ahead of my class anyway. So basically what happened is I adjusted for my years, right? So there's that generation of us. There are 3 generations of, young South Africans today.
Yeah.
I'm that center generation. Those of us like Ulira, who went to a township school, then migrated to a Model C school. Something interesting happened when we migrated to those Model C schools. There were these black kids whose parents owned spaza shops and taxis and butcheries who went to Saint Tessa.
Sure.
And they were always the only black kid in class. And all of a sudden they had to put up with the rest of us. That's Sizwe's problem. Sizwe's problem is he was the only black kid in class. And all of a sudden, he's got to put up with the rest of us. And it's not just him. He represents an entire group of young black people who come from extraordinary privilege, who cannot adjust their minds to the fact that their access today is not just driven by their privilege, that they're going to have to compete. Now, I said there's 3 generations. There's his, there's mine, and then there's the generation of young black kids who have only known the Model C schools.
Sure.
They're coming into the world of work now. Ask them to tell you about the experiences they're having at the hands of their own. Because they come and they speak a different type of English, right?
Sure.
This is, let me tell you how pervasive this is. At AKA's funeral, at the funeral, the memorial service, Sim Mode, what a guy, right?
Sure.
Sim Mode says...
Sim Dope.
Sim Dope, right.
Hey, people are going to butcher you, Bob.
Hey, sorry.
Sorry, guys. But Sim Dope, he's old, like me.
I mean, I remember the song, right? I'm a huge AKA fan.
No, AK is my favorite South African rapper.
Like, unequaled. Pro, AKA, do me. Boom.
Sure.
Okay. Anyway.
Before people come at us.
Yeah. So anyway, Sim Dope gets up and says, like, guys, we were going on a trip to Australia.
Sure.
Azange bamgibele ku-Twitter. Like, lento AKA with Cheese Boys.
Sure.
Bahambe Australia. When are we up? Gold Reef City trended.
Sure.
Because people were like, no, benye Gold Reef City. Right. Ngicela ningidlulisele abakithi. Le nkululeko naniyilwela for ini? If for Sim Dope to talk about going to Australia is now something that people must attack.
In 2023.
In 2023.
Because it's been a while.
In my mind, I want to understand. Ngiyamzela ubaba ka Simpiwe, right?
Sure.
Because I've done business with him and his groups.
Yeah.
Incredible gentleman, ubaba Gumed,
Sure.
right? Ngenhlonipho, mina ngiyahlonipha abafo abantu abadala, right? And across the strata, so in my mind, I'm going like, wow, like St. John's, they did it. Sia Kluza,
Sure.
incredible Sia Kluza. And the stuff Sia's doing today, people need to understand why Sia's under the radar. It's very deliberate. It's very intentional.
I've actually spoken to someone who knows him personally, and they have said it's deliberate.
It's because of this. It's this.
Yeah.
It's this.